Welcome everyone. So this is one of a problem from the Leetcode. It's an easy tag problem. It says k weakest row in a matrix. So what it says is you are given a matrix m into n, a binary matrix. So which means a matrix mat of ones representing the soldiers and zeros representing the civilians. The soldiers are positioned in front of the civilians. That is, all the ones will appear to the left and all the zeros in each row. So let's verify this. Uh, yes, it seems that all the ones are appearing prior to zeros. Yeah, in each row. Okay. The row I is weaker than row J if one of the following is true. The number of soldiers in row I is less than the number of soldiers in row J. Okay. Both the rows have same number of soldiers and I is less than J. So if a row has less number of soldier, it is the weakest. Let's suppose this one, this is the weakest seems, and it is 0, 1 to second row, and which seems to be as yeah, and which is written in the displays as well, output as well. Post when we have same number of soldiers, let's suppose in the row 0 and row 3, then we need to consider the first occurring row as to be weaker, which is also represented over here as 0, 3, as 0 is the weaker and 3 is the next weakest could be 1 and the last is 4. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, it's 4. So this is how it is for example 1, and for example 2 it seems to have three weaker elements, weakest being 0th index, then second, then third, and post which this is the strongest one and it is first index. As it says k is equal to 2, we are taking only the first two weakest, which is 0th index and second index, which is displayed as expected. Let's see about constraint. Constraints are not that these are the usual constraints. Although n and m are less than 100, it seems it's a pretty small matrix, and obviously k should be less than m, where m stands for matrix length, and it is expected that it is a binary matrix, so ij is either a 0 or 1. Makes sense? So let's go ahead for solving this out. So going with O of n into m solution, what do we require over here? So first is result array, which would be the returning array where the answer should be stored. Next is the sum of the elements. As you can see, sum of each of the elements, uh, like the strength of each row is determined the sum of elements which it contains, right? So as every other thing is 0 and soldiers are 1, so we can take directly the sum. Next, whenever we see the maximum k or k weakest, k max, so the immediate solution should come into our mind whether this can be solved by heap as well. 95% of solutions would take the heap approach itself, so it would be much more simpler for us to take the inbuilt heap, which is provided by Java as a priority queue, and use it. So this is a max heap over here. The maximum element would be up on the top. So why max heap? So we could just reject what rows does not fit into our criteria, and upon the tie we go ahead with the index which is later in the array. Why later? This will come to it at the later point of view. Things would be much more clear why this line is written over here. Post which, in the iteration part, we are going ahead with each row. We are traversing the matrix and we are storing the sum post sum, we are checking that if the adequate size is less than k, then just go ahead and blindly fill it with I, the index which we are upon. Else, if you see ahead, like within this queue, the maximum sum which we get is greater than the sum which we want, which we have currently. So it's no brainer for us to just go ahead and remove the top element and enter the sum which we saw just now. So just doing it at removing the from the queue and offering it a new variable. Post this, our queue is built. We have the sum array filled. Now we want to fill the result array. So this is what the result array is. We are filling it from the backwards, and as the simple it gets, because the queue is the heap is the max heap, we'll be getting the first maximum element. So it would make sense for us to just go ahead and fill the array by behind. And this doesn't just also make sense why we just go ahead and took the later index. Why? Because while reversing, the later index would be given the less priority. And once the queue result array is built, we are just returning the result array, and that's it. Let's go ahead and submit this solution. Yeah, but still it has been just 10% of solutions. Why so? As mentioned earlier, it has a log optimized approach which uses a logarithm. For it, stay tuned, watch the second part. Thank you. Click the video upon the right to know more about the optimized solution and how to implement it. For now, keep coding, stay happy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.